Sorry about that. Anyway, where was I? Oh, my first instinct was to push past her, and I'm glad that I didn't. As I'm asking if there's somebody else in the room, and I asked if it was the person that she was arguing with, another female comes to the door and was like, we were not the issue, it's them next door, right? And I'm like, okay, well, tell me. I was like, okay, we'll go right over there. And she was like, be careful because he's crazy. Okay, ma'am, why do you say that? Now, just for transparency purposes, this is the first person that came to the door was a younger black female, and the one that was in the room with her was an older black female, right? So I asked her why she says, be careful, why she said that he's crazy, and she proceeds to tell me that they were arguing for a long time. She banged on the wall and told them to keep it down, and he came beating down her door and called her a fucking nigger bitch, right? And she didn't say the word, she said the N-word with a very hard ER. Keep that in mind, right? So I'm like, okay, we'll take care of it. Don't worry about it, right? My partner, who responded to the call with me, is a white guy. I feel I should clarify all of this. So we knock on the next door, and female voice comes to the door, but we hear the guy, right? And she's like, let me handle it, let me handle it, let me handle it, let me handle it, right? So she finally opens up the door, and we go through our usual spiel. Hey, we got a call about a disturbance in the room. Is everything okay, right? Oh boy, the boyfriend or husband, whatever, actually his boyfriend, baby daddy, he's like, she said it ain't no fucking problem. He opens the door wider than she had opened it. She is obviously the brains of the operation, because as he swings the door open, I now see furniture turned over, and I'm seeing glass on the floor, which indicates that there was definitely a domestic disturbance. And per our policy, the hotel, the security, we have to go in and inspect the room. The guest's permission at that point does not matter, because we witnessed damaged property, right? So I'm like, okay, well, now I got to come into the room since you opened the door for me, because I need to see what the damage is. Dude is cocky. He's like, oh, come on in. I already know I got to fucking pay for it, blah, 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 blah. All right, cool. So I assess the damage, right? It's not even very much damage. He punched the wall. I guess when the young lady next door banged on the wall, he punched it, and his dumb ass punches a picture, and the glass breaks. He cuts his hand. So there's glass in a couple places in the room, on the carpet and all that kind of stuff. And that was the broken glass from the picture frame, right? So I'm like, well, listen, we're gonna have to write a report. I need to take some pictures. I'm, just telling them what the process is. You're gonna be charged. I fucking already said I know that already. This is the guy talking. So I'm like, bro, calm down, man. Like, you might be upset, but you're not upset with me. I just walked into the room. So relax. He says something else. I'm like, bro, it's my exact words. Bro, relax. I'm not your fucking bro. You're right, sir. My apologies. True story. This is exactly how this shit goes down, right? You're right, sir. My apologies. Just let us take these pictures. I imagine that nobody wants to write a statement, but I have to ask you both. I'm not fucking writing shit. She's not writing shit either. Listen, I understand that you're angry, but I need her to say no. As long as I hear her voice say it, it is what it is. There's nothing that I can do. Oh, you coming in here on some fucking tough guy shit? Yo, I'm not on no tough guy shit. I'm here to do my job. I now officially want to get the fuck out of this room. So let me do what I gotta fucking do. Well, he didn't like that, so he comes across the room. Now his girl is in between us. He's like, you think I can't fuck you up? I said, well, I know that you can't fuck me up, but I don't want no kind of physical altercation. Period. Fuck you, nigger. Now, old girl, I guess she recognized the ass whipping that could have happened. She pushes him, right? Now he's over by the door, right? She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, ma'am, you didn't say it, number one. Number two, you can't apologize for what he just said. That doesn't make any sense. It's fine. It doesn't bother me, right? I know, but I'm sorry. Dude is fucking yelling. Now, luckily, my partner, right, was smart enough to hot mic, right? We have walkie-talkies, radios, whatever, and we have the 2-wire where we just press a button and can talk, right? So he presses the button when dude walked over to me initially, right? I'm not hearing it because dude is yelling at me actively, so I can't really, hear the radio. But I'll tell you why that's important later. So I'm like, okay, well, now you're gonna have to go. You gotta exit the room. I'm gonna get my boss up here, and if they say that you are evicted, then you're evicted, right? So he bounces. Actually, no, he didn't leave. He's like, fuck that, I ain't going nowhere. I said, okay, now it's gonna get physical. I am asking you to leave this room. Your girl will call you after my boss says whether or not you can come back into the building. But if you don't leave now, we'll wrestle, but I promise you, you're gonna get the fuck out of this room, whether it's in handcuffs or you walk out on your own volition. Fuck you, nigga. Okay, again, this is with the hard ER, right? Like, all right, fam, as long as you saying that shit as you walking out the fucking door, that shit is nothing, right? So he goes out of the room, my supervisor comes up, calls his boss or whatever. So now we're waiting for him, right? And he is given what we call room to curb privileges, which means that he can go from his hotel room to the taxi stand. He cannot even walk out of the casino to get onto the strip. He has to go around the long way, right? Or we are going to arrest him and we will press charges, right? As we're waiting for the elevator, me, my partner, and our EMT, they had the EMT come up because dude was bleeding. We're in the hallway talking, waiting for this guy to fucking come up, right? And I'm talking, I'm like, I'm not giving him a pass for what he said, but one of the things that he was yelling is that he just did 20 years in prison, right? I have never been to jail. I ain't never been in nobody's custody for 24 whole hours, you know what I mean? But every single story that I've heard about prison has said that prisons are extremely segregated, right? The white people don't fuck with the black people, or the Hispanic people. The blacks don't fuck with the white or Hispanic. Like, nobody don't fuck with nobody that don't look like them. This is the jail mentality, right? So what I'm saying to my boys is, I'm not giving him a pass. Fuck him for that. But spending 20 years in that type of an environment, I get it, right? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. This is just par for the fucking course because you're being conditioned, right? 2 minutes 2 minutes after I fucking said that shit, old boy gets off the elevator. Now, the way our building is set up, when you come out of the elevator into the elevator lobby, you can't see up or down the hallway. You're looking at a wall, right? So as he comes out, all he sees is my bosses. And you know that these guys are my bosses because of how they're dressed compared to how I'm dressed, right? And they're white. So he immediately, I mean, like literally, you hear the ding, the doors slide open, and he starts talking. Hey man, I just want to tell you, this is his exact words. I just want to tell you, the black gentleman, the tall guy, he came into my room. He saw my tattoo. I do have a white power tattoo. My shirt was off. He saw that and he fucking went ape shit. I got scared, so I left. It's a very, very old tattoo, right? Now, needless to say, while he was in the room, his shirt was on. And on top of that, I didn't even have on my glasses, so I wouldn't have been able to read it unless it was big letters or whatever the case may be. However, because my partner hot mic'd it, my bosses heard every single thing that was said, including me saying that I wasn't offended by it, right? So my boss, this is a true G move, I gotta say, right? My boss is like, really, he lost it. You mean to tell me that you weren't yelling and you didn't call him the N-word and he didn't tell you that that didn't bother you and that's what made you start yelling even louder? And isn't that when you punched the door? Dude is looking at him crazy. So my boss lets the cat out of the bag, basically like, yo, yeah, we heard that. We heard it all. So here's what's gonna happen. And, you know, told them what his new rules were. And that was it, right? So at that point, I depart. There's nothing left for me to fucking do, right? My boss leaves with me. We're in the elevator. I'm like, you do know that Graves is gonna have to fucking evict them from the hotel. He was like, oh yeah, I know. I was like, well, fuck it. Better them than us. That's a little less paperwork and time, right? He was like, for sure. So I leave, get home, get to work today. I get off at 7 p.m. This is the last thing that I dealt with. So I probably left them at like 6:30, 6:45, right? Before 8 o'clock, I forget the exact time on the blotter right now, it escapes me, but before 8 o'clock, security had to respond to the room. He wasn't in the room. Apparently his girl fell asleep or whatever the case may be. Didn't want to let him back in the room for fear of getting fucked up, whatever. And wouldn't let him in the room. So he's banging on the door. So apparently, like, pretty much everybody on the floor, at least on that side of the corridor, was calling down the security. So when they came up, there wasn't going to be any talking. Plus, he was on his final warning because of the room to curb privileges. So before 8 o'clock, less than an hour after, or maybe an hour and a half after he and I had our situation, he ended up getting kicked the fuck out of the hotel anyway. The reason that I told that whole long story is because I realized something about myself, and it is something that I am going to make a conscious effort to change about myself. I tend to give people grace. What I mean by that is I have been called a nigger a lot, like a lot, by all sorts of people, male, female, fucking white, Asian, Hispanic, you name it, right? This is why it doesn't bother me. At least, I won't say that it doesn't bother me, but I refuse to give the person who says it the reaction that they desire or expect. I absolutely refuse to do that, right? So usually what I'll do is I'll say some slick shit, like I'll cite the year. So for example, I'll say something like, bro, it's fucking 2023. You do real that shit don't cut me like it cut my grandparents. Like you might want to rethink that. I'll give you a minute. Or I'll say some shit like, I'll laugh like a hearty belly laugh, and then I'll be like, hold up, give me a second. Let me put on my offended face. Right? Some shit like that, just to make them understand that they can never ever diminish me. Ever, right? But in this situation, you know, we're just kind of going back and forth. I don't want to trade insults with him because I don't get paid extra to fuck a motherfucker up. So I'm like, you know, that's not something that I want to fucking be doing. Especially not with no fucking dude that's not fucking worth it. But when I say that I give grace, even, and it's probably because of the situations prior to this, right? More times than not, when that's happened, it would be at a club that I was working at. And I can honestly say a good percentage, not like half or anything like that, but like 30, maybe even 40% of the times that it has happened, the person has, I've had people come back a day later, like the next day. I've had people come back the following week. Not because they wanted no smoke, because they wanted to apologize. I never accepted the apology. I always tell them, listen, you got to fucking work on yourself, and I accept that apology as much as you meant it, and I leave it at that, right? Boom. Like I said, I never trip off of that shit because it don't bother me like that. It don't cut me like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but moving forward, I'm no longer going to give that fucking good grace. I'm going to always return that fucking energy. I also learned that all of these motherfuckers is fucking punk ass bitches. Like straight up. How you gonna say that shit with your whole chest, and then before anybody confronts you about it, you try to fucking reverse the fucking roles? Because you saw white men and you knew, right? Because of that fucking jail mentality, right? At least in this case, you knew that those white guys were gonna fucking side with you. And it didn't fucking happen. And that, you know, that's just how the fucking cookie crumbles. But knowing that I got that from an actual white supremacist, right? That shit, it didn't even hit different. But it hit me in a way to let me know that no matter where I am or what the situation is, that realm of disrespect in person is never gonna get a fucking pass again. Never gonna get a pass again. Anyway, I talked about this way longer than I wanted. So that means that you might get another video this week, but it's crazy to upload long videos to YouTube because my internet sucks. So I'm gonna say peace to y'all, and I'll see y'all again soon.